everybody. So today I'm going to do a review of the NIV Grace and Truth Study Bible. And today we'll be looking at 3 different cover options. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then stay tuned. So once again, we'll be looking at the NIV Grace and Truth Study Bible. We've got the hardcover, the brown Leathersoft, as well as the blue Goatskin, which is part of the Premier Collection. We'll look at the features that are shown on the back of the box on these two. The only difference from the hardcover to the brown Leathersoft is we're going to have plain white page edges versus gold gilded page edges, and we've got 1 ribbon here where we've got 2 here, but the rest of the specs as far as these two will be the same. So I'll hold that right there in case you would like to pause and read that top section. It does talk about how Dr. R. Albert Mohler Jr. is the president of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, and he is the general editor for this study Bible. Here are the features, and a couple of the ones that I want to point out are this one here. We do have Words of Christ in red, same with the hardcover edition, whereas the Premier Collection is going to be a black letter. So this one has the 2 ribbons. All of them are going to be sewn bindings with a 9-point font size. Here are the features for the Premier Collection edition. So this one will be hand bound in a supple navy goatskin leather cover with raised spine hubs, gilt line, and perimeter stitching. This one is not only sewn, but it's also edge lined. This one will have a premium European Bible paper, which is a 36 GSM, whereas the other 2 have 32 GSM. This one will have 3 ribbons. They will be the wider 3/8 of an inch ribbons. We've got a generous yapp. We've got art gilding. Again, this one is a black letter, and we've got that same 9-point font. Now the pricing on these Bibles, as far as retail price, this one is $49.99, which you can pick it up for around $32. This one is $79.99, and you can get it for about $54. And this one here, the retail is $279.99, and you can get that one for about $149. So to get that nice of a Bible in this nice of a binding for that price, that's a really good deal on that one. They offer various colors on the Leathersoft. They also offer a personal size edition as well as a Spanish edition. So a really good lineup on these Bibles. I'll put an image up on the screen that kind of gives you an idea of some of the different color options. And I'll have several of them linked down in the description box below. All of these will have the same size text block, but the dimensions will be a little bit different because we've got different covers, and I like to give the outer dimensions on a Bible. So this one here, the height is going to be 9.5 inches on the hardcover, 9 5/8 inches on the Leathersoft, and just shy of 10.5 on the Premier Collection edition. Width will be 6.5 inches, 6 5/8 of an inch, and then 7 3/8 of an inch here, and that is measuring to the outer edge of those hubs. We've got 2 inches thick here, 1 7/8, and this one is going to be just shy of 2 inches thick. We'll look at the different features of all of these, and then we'll look at the interior of these 2 here. Now on the hardcover one here, I did have to turn out one of the lights just because it is so glossy that I didn't want to have too many reflections on it. I really like the design that they did on here with NIV Grace and Truth Study Bible. I think that looks really nice. So nice dust jacket. We've got all the features on the back. We'll go ahead and get it out of the dust jacket. So here's a look at it out of the dust jacket. On the front we just have Holy Bible. It is very glossy. On the spine, we've got some nice details. We've got NIV Grace and Truth Study Bible, NIV, and Zondervan. So again, this one is the hardcover. This one's going to have plain white page edges. And a lot of people like a hardcover because they just are so easy to store on a bookshelf. Myself, I always like to opt for a Leathersoft or a leather because I really like my gold gilded page edges. Now both of these 2 here will both have a 32 GSM paper and red letter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the Premier Collection edition, and then we'll look at more of the features in the Leathersoft one, because I do think that most people will probably be opting for this one. Now I'm not 100% sure if the camera's going to quite capture the color of this one, but it is a really pretty shade of blue. You can already see right there how that yapp kind of hugs that book block. It is perimeter stitched all the way around the perimeter. It does have a really nice grain pattern. It's got a really nice feel on this goatskin. On the spine, we've got Holy Bible, New International Version, and Zondervan. And then we can see our raised hubs. So really a gorgeous, gorgeous leather. So here we can see our gold gilded page edges, which look really nice. We do have a slightly curved book block, which I really like. And you can already tell that that's got quite a bit more of a yap than they typically have. We do have art gilding. And this one's got a really neat liner in this one with this red. I just think it really stands out and just pops. So we've got our gold gilt line all the way around that perimeter. It is stamped goatskin leather cover. This liner is tabbed up onto the block, so it is edge lined. So if you take care of this Bible, it is going to last you a lifetime. Get you some close-ups of that gilt line. And that's just really a beautiful color on there, and the gilding on this one looks fantastic. Once we open that up, you can see how nice that looks with that red on there and that gilt line and the art gilding. So I really like that they did give this one a little bit more of a yap. I'll get you a close-up of that. So there you can see that that's got a lot more of a yap than they typically have on their Bibles. So it's really a nice yap on this one. This one will also have a different presentation page, so I'll have our pages that are stuck together. Don't ever tear those apart. They're that way for a reason. So we've got red on the outer edge of this presentation page with the little gold fleur-de-lis. And then we've got that on the back side of that as well. One thing with these little designs here on those page edges, it does, when you look at the gilding, it kind of gives it a really neat effect. I'll get you a close-up of what I'm talking about. So if you look there, you can see that that gives it almost what looks like stitching on there. So I think that looks really neat. This one is going to have the 36 GSM paper. All of these will be the 2011 edition of the text. They were printed in China. Here we've got some Overcast stitching, so let me get you a close-up of that. So the little stitches that you see there, that is what is called Overcast stitching. So we've got the normal sewn binding, and then we've also got this Overcast stitching. So again, fantastic binding on this Bible. Now this one here is going to be the black letter edition. So here in Matthew, if this was a red letter edition, we'd see a whole bunch of red here in Matthew 25. So aside from the binding and the black letter and the 36 GSM paper and the upgraded ribbons and everything, that's pretty much going to be your difference on the Premier Collection edition. But I do want to show you these ribbons. So we've got 3 3/8 of an inch wide ribbons. They're nice and long, so plenty of length to actually use the ribbons. So we do have 3 different colors. We've got red, silver, and blue. I am told that that is the colors of the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary, so I'm sure that's probably why they went with those colors. So that one is our Premier Collection edition, and now we'll look at the rest of this Bible in that brown Leathersoft. Okay, so here we've got our brown Leathersoft, and their Leathersoft editions just keep getting better and better. It's amazing the kind of quality that they're doing with imitation leather these days. So on our cover, we've got Grace and Truth, and I love the way that they did that with the stitching on there. I think that looks really nice. We've got a really nice looking grain pattern, and if you didn't know that this wasn't leather, you would see it and feel it, and you would think that it was leather. We've got perimeter stitching all the way around the perimeter, and then of course we've got our stitching here. So we'll take a look at the spine. So really pretty. We've got NIV Grace and Truth Study Bible, some decorative accents, NIV, and Zondervan. And I think that looks really neat. It almost looks like an antique book. Our stitching does carry on to the back of the Bible, and then we've got our ISBN number stamped on the back. So this one does have gold gilded page edges. It doesn't have art gilding like our Premier Collection edition, and then we've upgraded to 2 ribbons, whereas that hardcover edition just has 1. Both the hardcover as well as this brown Leathersoft will both have a paper paste down liner, and they've got the same presentation page. And that's kind of in a gold color. We do have a psalm down here on the bottom of the page. Then we get right into our title pages, and I do like the color of gold that they used in this one. We'll have our table of contents page, List of the books alphabetical, all the abbreviations and transliterations. We'll have our quick start guide. This section talks about what do the features of the study Bible offer me. So we're going to have book introductions, cross-reference system, study notes, concordance, and maps. Then we get over to the introduction page, and I really like the way that they start this off with, God has given his children many good gifts, but the gift of his word is among the most precious of all. And I could not agree more with that. Down here it mentions how grace and truth are two of the most wonderful words found in the Bible. Grace is the love God shows us despite our sins, and truth is the very foundation of our faith. So I do like that there. On the back side of the page it talks about how every feature of this study Bible is intended to help readers see more, learn more, know more, and understand more of God's Word in order that we will be more faithful in following Christ. So I do really like that as well. Then we have our acknowledgments page, and it tells us here how there are 42 people who worked on this one. Then we get into our list of editors and contributors. So Dr. Mohler is going to be the general editor, and he again is from the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary. But we've also got people from all over, from different places. So we've got one from Crandall University, Grand Canyon University, Kentucky Baptist Convention, the Masters Seminary, Queensland Theological College, Founders Baptist Church, Reformed Theological Seminary, Sydney College of Divinity. So we get a broad range of people that are working on this one, and the notes that I've read in this one have been very well balanced. I haven't noticed that it's swaying one direction or another. Next we will have our preface. Then we get right into the Old Testament. This one's going to have those same little designs, and it does the same effect on here where it makes it almost look like there's stitching on there. Each book is going to start with a book introduction. Then we'll get right into the biblical text. So we've got our double column layout with center column cross references. Whenever this section is not large enough for the cross references, they'll be on the bottom right hand side of the biblical text. That's also where you'll find translator notes. Then we've got our double column for our study notes. It is separated with the little gold lines. So I'm going to get you some close-ups on this text. So here's a close-up of our text. Again, this is going to be a 9-point font. This is the second generation of the NIV text. But we've got our gold here, which I do like that color that they used. We've got the 3 little lines that separate our study notes. Then we've also got that same gold with the cross references. Here's a shot of when the cross references don't fit in that center column, and then we've got an example of some of the translator notes. Our study notes will be in an 8-point font. So here we can see some stitching in the gutter. So again, all of these do have a nice sewn binding. Now this particular study Bible here has very few illustrations in it. So we've got just a couple of them. We've got the tabernacle and the furnishings of the tabernacle, and then we've got Solomon's temple. So there's only just a very few of these illustrations that I was able to find in the study Bible, because the main thing on this one is going to be the notes themselves. So this does have just tons and tons of notes. So we will look at our ribbons. We've got 2 ribbons. They're a thinner ribbon than what we have in the Premier Collection. They are a double-sided satin. Here we'll see a close-up of how the Psalms are laid out. And this is just a really well done study Bible. So if you're someone who really likes notes, I would definitely check this one out. So we'll get back to the New Testament. We'll see our red letter. We'll also see the second of the 2 ribbons, which is a double-sided satin in a brown. So here we see our red letter. It is a very nice shade of red, very easy on the eyes. I'll get you a close-up of that. So there's a shot of the red letter. Again, really a good shade of red. Now one thing that is really interesting with the different colors of the text in this one is depending on the light that you're under, you will think that you see some burnt orange, you'll think that you see some blue and some other colors. So especially like on this section here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an image up on the screen, because to my eyes it almost looked like there was several colors. It looks like there's some blue, some orange, some red. So it's really interesting the way that the text on this one, I don't know whether it's just the ink, but it can almost play tricks with your eyes, and you only notice it under certain types of lighting, so you don't see it all the time. I'm not sure if other people have seen that many colors in there, but when I first seen that, and I knew it would be hard to get it on video, so I figured I would just insert a photo. We'll get back to the end of Revelation. It is red letter all the way through to the end. And then we get into our table of weights and measures. And then we get into the concordance. Now the concordance on this one is awesome. So the concordance contains 4,795 word entries with nearly 36,000 scripture references. So it is a huge concordance. The concordance also contains 339 biographical entries for significant people in the Bible. And so that's kind of nice because this Bible doesn't really have many biographies in it. So it's really nice that we do have that in the concordance. We've got a double column layout on the concordance. The words are going to be done in bold. And it does appear that it's got the same size font as our notes. So I do believe that this is going to be an 8-point font. But it is a really nice size concordance. We've got 310 pages, so tons of information there. So then we've got a really nice index to the maps, so that's going to help you to place names found on the color maps. So this is really nice and it's very detailed, and this here is going to be in a 3-column layout. So here we do have a note regarding the type, which is going to be done by 2K Denmark. And they've just done a phenomenal job on the comfort print. It is so easy on the eyes, and it really spoils you. And anymore, I just don't want to read a Bible that doesn't have comfort print. They've kind of turned me into a comfort print onlyist. Then we will get back to our maps. We're going to have 14 full color maps. They will be on a glossier paper, but nice and easy to read, very clear. Here in the gutter, we've got some more stitching, so again, nicely done sewn binding. And this map here, map number 7, is really neat. This one is titled Prophets in Israel and Judah. And so it tells us some of these different locations. So we've got Jonah sails for Tarshish, Samuel raised in Tabernacle, where Samuel was born, where Micah was born. And so it's really neat to see all these places and give you an idea of where those things took place. So we do have more maps than we typically do in their Bibles. So here's another map that I really like. This one is the Jesus' ministry map. So it tells us where he talked to the woman at the well, where he ascended to heaven, where he was born. And so this is a really neat map. So if you've got a Bible that's got one of these and you've never checked it out, get that Bible out and check it out because it's really neat. Then we've got the Apostles' early travels, and I really like the way they've got this little key here. I'll get you a close-up of that. So having this key here really gives you a good visual of where they went because it is broken up with the different colors. So I think this is a really cool map. Then we've got our 2-page spread. Then we get to the last map and just to the back of the Bible. But if you're looking for a good study Bible with really good notes, I would definitely check out this one. So again, you can get this one in a variety of different cover options, going from hardcover to Leathersoft. And if you really want to splurge and treat yourself, you can opt for this Premier Collection one, which is absolutely beautiful. But I would definitely recommend checking out this study Bible. Again, I'll have various links down in the description box if you'd like to check them out. If you've made it this far in the video, I would like to ask you to make sure that you give this video a like if you did find it helpful. Drop me a comment down below. And if you're not yet subscribed, click that subscribe button. And make sure that you click that little bell so that you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Alright, thanks for watching. Have a great day.